Hi, I'm Shelby Williams, formerly with Plano City Council, formerly Collin County Republican Party Chair. I'm coming at you with this Plano City Council recap because I pledged to continue doing these, though I'm running for Collin County Commissioner now in the election in next year in 2026, the first election of which is the primary election on March 3rd, and for which I am very proud to have earned the endorsement of the Plano Police Association in that race. But I'm still up to speed. I'm still a Plano resident, and so I pledge to continue these city council previews and recaps until until my election for commissioner next November. And I will also be doing previews and recaps for the Collin County Commissioners Court starting next week. So with that, I will bring you this latest city council recap. Now, I am a little behind the curve, because for the first council meeting in 6 years, I actually made other plans because I'm no longer on council. So I watched the meeting afterwards, and I'm bringing you all of the juicy details now. So Maria Tu and Julie Holmer were reappointed as Mayor Pro Tem and Deputy Mayor Pro Tem respectively. Congratulations, ladies. Next, we had the comprehensive monthly financial report. In a nutshell, we spent a bunch of money. Next, we reviewed the code adoption process. This is for construction building standards code and a variety of other codes. So we walked through the process by which we adopt new code. We adopt it sometimes with slight modifications and review from the International Code Council, which goes through numerous boards before it is refined and goes to the North Central Texas Council of Governments, the COG for short. And then it goes to the Building Standards Commission, that's a Plano board, that's Plano Commission, I should say. And then finally to the City Council for adoption. So that was just an overview of the process. Now, we had another review of the general government and technology compensation rebalance. So this was to be rebalanced across more than 26 grades. So we had a compensation philosophy study done over the past year and a half or so, which I'll say I'm disappointed in it. It simply reaffirmed our philosophy of providing compensation, salary compensation at median for our market plus 5%, but recalibrating across the various grades or bands of a given position. So we did set aside $4.4 million last year in the budget cycle to put toward these salary adjustments. Some people are above the median plus 5% target. Their pay is not going to be docked or bumped down, but they will just not grow into it as fast as other people who are well below it, and they'll have their pay adjusted. Now, this is general government and technology. This does not include other departments and does not include public safety. One of the challenges that we've seen is that it's not as simple as other cities are benchmarking to Plano, but we are included in other cities' benchmarks, just as other cities are included in ours. So when we set a goal of median plus 5%, well, we become the new median for other people. And then if their target is median plus 5% or 10% or 2% or median minus 2, they adjust according to our median. So I've been an advocate for a while of figuring out a compensation structure that does not directly benchmark against other cities, but still measures things such as recruitment, retention, and customer satisfaction. You're the customer, the taxpayer, the constituents. So then we had a brief discussion about night constructions on roads. I'm sure everybody is thrilled with the ongoing construction on Parker Road and Park Boulevard, and everywhere else there's ongoing construction. So we have started exploring doing nighttime construction to accelerate that. We want to make sure that if it's disrupting anybody, if it's done in an arterial area near a residential neighborhood, that we hear from you. And I'm going to keep saying we as though I'm on city council because, hey, you're still free to get in touch with me. I know people who know people. But you can also contact your council members, as always. So then we moved into the regular meeting. We presented a certificate of appreciation to Sam Johnson for his tenure on the Board of Adjustment. Sam was just elected to the Plano ISD School Board. Congratulations, Sam. And then we heard citizen concerns during comments of public interest, valid concerns about the sewage rates for new homeowners. Sewage rates are pegged at the winter quarterly average, basically just an estimate for usage. But for new homeowners in Plano, they just go based on a swag winterly quarterly average, and it's not really adjusted. So if they use well under what is averaged, then they're going to be stuck with a much higher bill. Now, conversely, if they use well below what is estimated, then if they use much more than what's estimated, then they'll make out. So the citizen asked that we implement a plan that will make the appropriate adjustment for new homeowners, which I think is fair. We had item E pulled off the agenda, the consent agenda, because there was a typo. The tires, this was for tires, I assume a whole lot of tires, but this is for tires for fleet services to use for all of our vehicles for $502,000 a year, not $503,000. That was a misprint. And this was kind of cute. I was the one who noticed this and brought it to the attention of the city manager. And on Thursday evening, we had a reception for the outgoing council members, myself included, me, Anthony Riccadelli, Casey Prince, and Rick Smith. And when Mayor Munns was talking about me, he noted that at Tuesday's council meeting, they had a slight modification to the consent agenda that I brought to their attention and pointed out, I'm still working. You bet I am. Thank you, Mayor. Now we had two items for individual consideration, and they're both the sale of the closed schools, two closed schools with Plano ISD, Davis Elementary and Forman Elementary. Now, Davis Elementary, I'll skip to the punchline, these both passed. Davis Elementary sold for $3,050,000. That's 5.43 acres of land. This is in the future land use map in the comprehensive plan. This is designated as neighborhoods, and we're going to engage in a community engagement process to determine potential future uses. Forman Elementary was much larger, 9.45 acres for $5,375,000. And this is planned as a relocation site for Fire Station 3, which needs to be moved. Partial funding was approved in this recent bond election in May. Now, the interlocal agreements gave with the school board, gave the city dibs on purchase of these. And the school board is going to be responsible for demolishing the structures. Back when this first started to be explored after PISD announced the closure of these schools, it was brought to my attention that the taxpayers have already paid for these properties vis-a-vis their school taxes. City taxes are different than school taxes, but the taxpayer doesn't care which of their pockets the money is taken from. Taxpayers already paid for these properties, and now they're paying twice. That is upside down. For that reason, I had concerns about the sale of these properties, and I personally connected representatives from respectively a charter school and a private school with Plano ISD to explore purchase of those schools rather than to the city. But again, city got dibs, and we purchased them as of this last council meeting. But it does call into question how we as a city and entities with which we have an ILA, interlocal agreement, manage your taxpayer dollars to make sure that you, the taxpayer, are being best served, and not just by any individual taxing entity, but by all of them put together. So with that, I'm Shelby Williams, formerly with Plano City Council, formerly Collin County Republican Party Chair, current candidate for Collin County Commissioner Precinct 4 in 2026. I thank you for watching and keep tuning in. God bless.